Hey man, we need to talk about something that most men don't realize until it's too late. Something so subtle, so twisted, so baked into the fabric of modern relationships that you won't even see it happening. Not at first. It starts with her telling you what you should wear, then how you should talk, then who you should hang out with, then how you should think. And before you know it, you're not you anymore. You're her puppet, her project, her emotional pet. And she'll say it's love. She'll swear it's for your own good. But the truth? She's not building you. She's breaking you. And it's all wrapped in the soft, seductive language of romance. Because here's what no one will say out loud. Modern women don't want to be led by men. They want to lead men. And when they can't lead you, they try to mold you, shape you, strip away every edge that made you masculine in the first place. Your anger, toxic, your confidence, arrogant, your ambition, selfish, your boundaries, controlling. Every masculine trait you carry becomes a threat to her emotional dominance. So what does she do? She starts cutting them down, piece by piece, under the disguise of emotional growth and mutual compromise. But compromise isn't what she wants. Control is. She doesn't want a partner. She wants leverage. And the only way she gets it is by turning you into a watered-down, passive version of yourself. A safe man, a quiet man, a man who smiles when she's wrong and apologizes when he's right. A man who puts her happiness above his mission, his vision, his soul. And here's the worst part. You'll think you're doing the right thing. You'll think you're being a good man. But really, you're just becoming less of one. You start silencing yourself to keep the peace. You start second-guessing your instincts. You start walking on eggshells in your own house. And eventually, you become unrecognizable to yourself, to your brothers, to the man you used to be, all in the name of love. But this isn't love. This is emasculation. This is psychological castration. This is the slow, quiet death of your masculine spirit. And here's the kicker. Once she's finished softening you, once she's got you right where she wants you, she loses interest. She'll say you changed. She'll say the spark is gone. She'll say you're not the man she fell for. And you'll sit there in silence, confused, broken, wondering how it got here. But deep down, you'll know. She didn't fall out of love. She fell out of power. And when a woman can no longer fight for dominance, she checks out. You need to understand this. Women do not love men they can control. They may keep you around. They may use you for comfort. They may even claim to love you. But biologically, emotionally, psychologically, they are not wired to love what they dominate. A woman only respects a man she can't bend, and respect is the foundation of real feminine love. Without it, you're just a place to park her emotions when the chaos gets too loud. And that's why most relationships today are upside down. The man becomes the emotional caretaker, the apologizer, the one who makes himself small so she can feel big. And at first, she eats it up. She feels empowered, independent, in charge. But deep in her core, she starts to resent you. Not because you're bad, but because you're weak. And weakness in a man triggers something primal in women. It disgusts them. She'll test you in ways that feel irrational. She'll insult you just to see if you defend yourself. She'll flirt with other men to see if you stand up for yourself. She'll deny your needs to see how long you'll tolerate being starved. And if you fail those tests, if you submit, she'll never say it out loud, but the respect is gone. And once respect dies, love becomes a performance. What you have to see is that this isn't always conscious. She doesn't wake up thinking, let me emasculate him today. No, it's deeper. It's instinctual. Feminine energy tests the structure of masculine leadership, and when the structure is weak, it collapses. She doesn't hate you. She just no longer feels safe in your presence, because a man who can't hold his own frame can't hold hers either. You were never meant to be her emotional punching bag. You were never meant to be her therapist, her diary, or her emotional mirror. You were meant to be her anchor, her rock, her mountain, the stillness in her storm. But you can't be that if you're always explaining yourself, always asking for permission, always trying to please instead of lead. And that's why you feel drained. That's why you feel hollow. That's why you wake up next to her and still feel alone. Because she doesn't love you. She loves what you used to be. Before you got soft, before you surrendered your power, before you traded your edge for approval. And the tragic part, you gave it away willingly because nobody told you the truth. The truth is, if a woman doesn't fear losing you, she'll never truly love you. Not fear like terror, but fear like reverence, like respect, like this man is not mine to control. That's what keeps her invested. That's what makes her rise to meet your standards instead of lowering them to match her chaos. But she'll never do that if you keep letting her pull you into her emotional storm and calling it partnership. You've got to reclaim your authority, not over her, but over yourself. Your emotions, your time, your energy, your values. You don't argue, you don't beg, you don't justify, you lead, you set the tone, you protect your frame like it's your soul, because it is. And the moment you do that, one of two things will happen. She'll either rise or she'll run. And either way, you win. Don't be the man who learns this at rock bottom. Don't wait until she's walking out the door with 0 tears in her eyes and her bag's already packed. Don't wait until she says, "You were too nice," or "You changed," or "I don't know what happened." Because what happened was you stopped being the man she respected. You started becoming the man she could control. You were not put on this earth to be reshaped by a woman's emotional waves. You were made to be the coastline that holds her chaos without drowning in it. That means boundaries. That means standards. That means walking away when her energy becomes poison. Not because you don't care, but because you finally care about yourself more than her mood swings. The moment you set your boundary, she will test it. Don't mistake the test for disrespect. It's confirmation. She needs to know your boundary is real. She'll throw a tantrum. She'll withdraw affection. She'll call you cold, emotionally unavailable, selfish. And this is where most men fold. They get scared. They chase. They try to smooth things over. But the man who holds the line, he becomes the one she can finally trust. Because deep down, she's not looking for control. She's looking for containment. And if you can't contain yourself, how can you contain her? A woman will never tell you directly that she wants to feel your dominance, but she'll show it in 100 indirect ways. She'll challenge your authority, pick fights over nothing, question your leadership, and watch how you respond. Not because she hates you, but because she needs to feel you. She needs to feel your emotional gravity, your unwillingness to fold. And when you pass that test, when you stay grounded, firm, unbothered, that's when her feminine opens. That's when her heart starts to soften again. You can't negotiate your way into respect. You can't be nice enough to earn her loyalty. And the second you make her your emotional compass, you've already lost. Because women aren't looking for a reflection of their chaos. They're looking for the man who transcends it, who doesn't argue with the storm, who doesn't try to change it, who simply stands in it, untouched, unmoved. That's the man she cannot control. That's the man she cannot manipulate. And that's the man she will never forget. She'll never love you until she knows she can't change you. That's the bitter truth. As long as she thinks you'll mold yourself for her comfort, she'll keep pushing. She'll keep trying. And every time you shift to please her, you lower your value in her eyes. But the man who stands firm, who refuses to shrink, who stays loyal to his mission over her moods, that's the man she will cry over. That's the man she will regret losing. You need to become a man who is so grounded in himself that her manipulation doesn't even register. You don't even need to call it out. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't even react. You just leave the room, emotionally or physically, and let your silence do the talking. Because a woman cannot control a man who is self-sourced. A man who pulls power from within, not from her approval. That's the ultimate threat to her emotional games and the deepest invitation for real feminine surrender. You're not here to be her savior. You're not here to fix her daddy issues. You're not here to soothe every insecurity. You're here to lead a life. And if she fits into it, great. If not, you don't rearrange your throne for someone who hasn't earned a seat beside you. Because once you start adjusting your mission for her feelings, you are no longer building a kingdom. You're building a cage. She doesn't want to wear the pants. She just wants to see if you'll let her. And when you do, she loses all trust. She starts leading emotionally. She starts punishing. She starts resenting. Because women hate having to lead men. It robs them of their natural polarity. It creates a reverse dynamic that always ends in tears, cheating, or slow emotional death. Don't let it get there. Be the one who never gave her the pants in the first place. And no, it's not about being harsh, cruel, or controlling. It's about being immovable. It's about having a center so strong she either aligns with it or walks. And you don't flinch either way. That's what builds attraction. That's what builds obsession. That's what builds respect. And with respect, love can grow. Without it, you're a disposable emotional caretaker in a relationship that isn't even about you anymore. Most men lose themselves in the name of keeping her. They sacrifice their masculinity for temporary peace. They shrink, thinking it will save the relationship. But what they don't realize is that very act is what kills it. Because when you give up your power, she gives up her devotion. It's not conscious. It's not evil. It's nature. And nature doesn't reward weakness. It consumes it. So here's your choice, brother. You either reclaim your masculine edge and lead with strength, clarity, and non-negotiable standards, or you become another man she reshapes, emasculates, and ultimately forgets. She will never love the version of you she had to build. She'll only love the man who was so complete, so rooted, so powerful, that she had no choice but to surrender to him.